17 games, a mix of good and bad. That's what we're going over today on the 47th day of my journey to 2000. We're almost at day 50, which is going to be kind of cool. The first game here, my opponent played with 90% accuracy. First game. I had one blunder. I played with 80% accuracy, which usually is the accuracy where I win. But I blunder. And what do I blunder? Well, let's look at this here. I'm winning. A lot of times I'm winning in the beginning of the game, and then I get outplayed. And this was my blunder. Basically, a trapped knight. So the engine wanted me to move the rook here, so I guess the knight can run away. If something like this, I could come here, right? And the game continues. The problem with how I played it was my knight had nowhere to go, so I just came in like this. This already looks better, because at least I'm coming in with check, and I pick up an extra pawn, and, you know, that looks better. I'm not going to lie. I don't know why I didn't do that. Something like this. And the game continues, but I probably still lose. And the engine is saying to come here to attack me. Wow, okay. Regardless, I don't do that. I decide to attack the knight. And what sucks is after he takes my knight, he was attacking my bishop, so I had to take back. And I mean, there's nothing else to say, really. I tried to get my pieces into the game. I really didn't find a way, and I just resigned. Terrible start. Terrible start. Okay, day 2. What? Game 2. Blundered again. Blundered again, but this time it was missed. So that's the difference between winning and losing sometimes. Missed or not missed. And I like pushing this pawn forward a lot of the times to put pressure. But the whole time I'm hanging this pawn, and it's not a smart idea. And this is a blunder. This is a blunder because he could come here protecting the knight, and now my bishop is trapped. So I just love getting trapped pieces. And the idea is I can't come back here because there's 1, 2, 3 attackers and only 2 defenders. And my idea of trying to checkmate doesn't work because the knight is in the way. Didn't see it. I don't take. Taking is better because I think this opens up his king, and his knight was really annoying in this location. Not only that, after exchanging there, I get the pawn. I'm up a pawn at the end of it. And, you know, there's these 2 doubled pawns and an open king, and things are looking good. But that's not what happens. Instead, I blunder. He doesn't see it, and then he just blunders his queen. And, I mean, at least I saw that. And here, you know, the game goes a little longer, and he resigns. I had a checkmate here, which is kind of interesting. Here, 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 I believe, here, and then here. But I did not see that. So that was the second game. Blundered, but missed. Right? Trapped pieces. So those were the bad, right? This game I play 88.5% accuracy, and I have a brilliant move. And this game's a little different. I don't take that pawn in the middle, but this is how the game progresses. I just keep attacking the queen, and I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I was curious before, too. Is this better because the rook comes in and... Yeah, I guess the rook is on the 7th rank, and his queen is a little bit out of the game. That's pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, the queen comes here, and here I recognize I could attack the rook and queen. But what I'm worried about is something like this. I'm worried about something like this because after takes, he takes my bishop at the end of that line. I'm still winning because I got the rook, but I didn't like that idea, so I got rid of the knight. And then I went for this plan. The thing is, here it doesn't work. Here it doesn't work because after this, and he could take my queen. So, or rather, if you look at it like this, he gets out of the attack, essentially, right? A little bit complicated. We both didn't see that, and he just blunders his rook, and I get the brilliant move! So that was beautiful. I get his queen, and then I think does he resign? No, he does not resign. He keeps playing annoyingly. And at a certain point, look, he just forces me to get the mate. Okay. Game number 4. Guess what it is? Is it a good or the bad? It's the bad. Look at this accuracy. Look how sad this is. And this guy's a 1573. And I'm supposedly decent too. So I saw this knight move the whole time. I didn't realize how good it was. And essentially the idea is that if the knight takes here, I take and I'm attacking the knight and it's just pinned. It's like that simple, right? And if he tries to do some stuff like this, like, okay, well, that wouldn't make sense. If he tries to trade everything off, at the end of the day, I still get the knight, right? He could check me, but I'm fine. That was just exaggerating. Obviously, my opponent wouldn't necessarily play those moves. I didn't see that, and this is kind of important because this is, I don't know, it reminds me of the Scotch where the queen comes out and the bishop and knight. It feels like a transposed Scotch or something. But yeah, this knight move was key. You know, with the pawn on d6, it's possible, and I didn't see it. I'm not used to that pattern, I guess. And here, yeah, I don't know why I didn't attack the queen. But this is how the game progressed. Here I had a very nice move, and I had these tripled pawns. I was like, yes, I'm down a pawn, but like this looks like I'm winning for sure. I kick away the queen to get into this position, and I end up winning this pawn, and I'm feeling pretty good about the position. And here I check because I realize that I could take this rook, and that looks very scary. So I do that, and I see a checkmate here. I see a potentiality at a checkmate with the rook here and the queen coming here. That's mate. But I have to analyze what he's doing, right? He has a real threat. So I think about, okay, if I take and he takes, and then I continue my plan of bringing the rook here, can he do anything? Well, he could give check. Wait, so if I take and he takes, and I move the king first, right? He could give check, I come here, and his bishop is stuck to give checks again. So that looks pretty good, right? The other idea is, what if I go for my plan and he takes me? Well, then I take back, he checks, I come here, he checks, and my brain thought, oh, I still have the d2 square to escape. Well, nope, I didn't. And the second he checked with the bishop, I realized my mistake, and that felt so bad. That felt so bad, man. It felt so bad. We played 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the 4th game. I wrote down trapped knight blunder, then stupidity. That's what I wrote down. The trapped knights is crazy. Now, this next game, I played against this guy before, which is funny. And I drew him last time. Well, this game was not a draw. This game was more decisive, and he's a 1600. 89.6% accuracy he played. So let's see what happens. I got that great move. And here I miss a very, very simple idea. Just attacking the knight. It's pinned. I mean, it looks like I'm winning the game because after takes and takes, you know, I just push my knight back, and I don't know. He has 3 pawns, but I have a pawn and a knight. The engine seems to say that everything is like okay, but to me this seems pretty crazy. And whatever, the game could have continued. Maybe I still would have lost, but I don't see it. I don't see it, and here I fall for the craziest trick. I don't know why I didn't see this discovered attack. Like, I should have clearly just blocked. After he attacks me, I could run away somewhere, right? Not there, obviously, but somewhere like this, and the game continues. I didn't see that. Apparently, the game continues, but not... It doesn't really continue that much for me because I guess he could keep applying pressure, but I digress. That was just sadness. Here we had lazy calculation, but I still win. And the lazy calculation, I say lazy, I thought about it, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. First of all, apparently taking this pawn is really good. Listen, I'm not at that level. Here I do all the right moves, you know, I could get checked here, but I have enough, unlike the previous game, I have enough eyes on that square. And finally, I take this pawn and I move out of any annoying attacks on my queen pinned there. Although the bishop can now attack me, right? Where I move the king, the bishop can now attack. Here I attack, he takes, so I'll gladly trade. And I'm really attacking his position. And here I decide for some time, I spend like 2 minutes, and I said, oh, this isn't mate because of the bishop, but this is mate. He has to deal with it, and he has to move his king there. He sees the move, and now I spent a long time calculating this, but but then he wouldn't move there. Maybe he would move to d6, and I'm calculating all this. And so I check. And I check, and I check, and I check, and then he blunders. And the idea here is actually he could go to d7. And I saw this variant also. I saw all of this. But after this knight, I didn't calculate anything. And the idea is after c7, my rook is hanging, and I have to be a little careful. There's this check, which I did not see, okay? I would have to think about it here. And I'm winning, but it's a little bit of an interesting position. Instead of all that, he takes with his queen, so I clearly see that I'm winning because I'm going to take both his rooks, and then I'm going to take the pawn, and I mean, a rook and a bishop for a knight and a bishop. I mean, yeah, then he just hangs his knight, and I win. That was, you know, a little bit... maybe I should say lazy calculation. I need to get my calculation better. I need to do more puzzles. Again, I need to do like 5-10 puzzles before I start playing games, I think. Anyway, get behind the pawn. This is what we were told, or at least that's how I think, for end games. And it doesn't work here. Maybe I'm wrong with that thinking. Here, apparently I had this nice move, which I didn't see. And this just protects everything, and I'm up a pawn. Right? I didn't see that. I played this bishop move instead, and this is how the game progressed. He got into my position, and here I'm thinking I have a chance. Thinking this check is a good idea, too. The problem here, and I saw this move, is castles. Castles, and I can't castle. My king got attacked. I have to be very careful. I was thinking I come here, hope that he takes, right? But this is scary. This is scary stuff. How do I deal with this position? Well, I don't need to know how, because my opponent doesn't play the way I expect him to. So let's look all the way back here when the game was more even. Okay? Basically, allowing him to take this knight and getting my king to the center was not a good idea. And I recognized it afterwards. Developing my knight so I could castle was smarter. Yeah. Yesterday, we looked at like the statistics and the insights on chess.com. I looked at it. I don't know if I showed you guys, but castling middle to end game equals more losses, at least for me. Anyway, all of this happens. And instead of castling, he goes for the traded queens. And now I'm thinking, wow, I have a chance to make something happen. Maybe I don't, but I have this passed pawn. And okay, I got rid of the passed pawn. But okay, like my king is going to get into the position. And looks like it's a pretty even game. And here I spent some time calculating. Or not here, actually. I spent some time calculating here. And I'm thinking, I thought about taking here. But I move the rook instead, and then he gives me a chance by letting me take this. The funny thing is, I didn't recognize that. I didn't see this as the threat that it was. So I'm going to show you what the engine wanted me to do, and then I'm going to show you, well, I'm showing you what I did. My rook's behind the pawn, but I can't do anything, so I just resign. This is game. All the way back here, my best move was to bring the rook around. And the idea here is I could check the king and I could just chill. I could chill on the back rank and I don't allow the king to go forward, and I could try to promote. And I looked at a line with this, and essentially what the engine says is it's going to be drawn. It's a drawn position. Oh, that was a sad game. That was, Jesus, look at this username. That was a sad game. Yeah, and then I versus 1600 here. I'm always winning until I'm losing. Well, that's what happens in this game. In this game, the position starts off pretty equal. And here I blunder because after takes, there's this check. And this is not a nice check. This is not a nice check to get into. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember why. I guess because the pawns are really forward, and I can't really deal with that well. But anyway, I digress. That's maybe a little above my pay grade. I take here, he takes, the game goes back to even. I take, and I take here because I'm doubling his pawns, and his king's safety is not that good. I feel like I'm winning this position, and I was right. I was winning this position until I just blunder a queen. The second I made the move, I saw it, and I was like, what's wrong with me? I even considered moving along this side of the board, and I didn't. And the idea here is obviously you have these two annoying pawns for the opponent. Maybe bring the rooks here. Yeah, I did not play this well. Ooh. Sorry. Anyway, let me show you. Oh no, yeah, that move, taking that pawn, was like 5 seconds too. Really stupid. Really stupid. This was a game that was sad for my opponent. Okay, I just played amazingly. We haven't been looking at the reviews, but I played with 81.8% accuracy, and he just made this one blunder. One blunder. First of all, I make a mistake. I always forget. I never like attacking like this. Oh, I played the Caro-Kann here by accident, too. I'm trying not to play the Caro-Kann as much because I don't have a good win rate with it, but I just played it instinctually. I'm always scared of this, but actually this is fine, and the idea is if takes, and I'm eyeing some stuff. I'm getting into the position, I guess, and everything is fine. It says here, takes, and the game continues. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't do that. I bring the bishop out, and then he gives me this check, which just lets me eat away everything. And I thought he would resign my opponent. Nope, doesn't resign. I made sure that my knight could cover, and my king can't get attacked over there. Bring my queen, because I want to just trade. I don't mind that. And then I force the trade, and he resigns. Okay. Now, this game also against the 1400, so I'm expecting an easy win. I try not to look at the ratings, but I did here. And listen, the title of the video is probably like good and bad, right? Whatever I said. A mix of good and bad, whatever I said in the beginning of the video. I think that's what I said. And that's what this game becomes. First of all, in this opening... oh no, it's not in this. It's in a different opening. This game is bad. It's like the complete opposite of the previous game. And the idea here is apparently developing my knight. I don't develop my knight enough, I think. But the idea, I thought this was bad for me. Apparently it's not. I could get this check-in, and I could just essentially make... like, it's crazy. The engine is saying this is potentially a decent move. Okay, apparently not, but the engine was thinking. I just force his king to move around like maniac. That's essentially why that works. I don't see that. I tried to put pressure on this knight here, and that was well. I just didn't know what to do after that. And he kind of moves everything away, and then I blunder because the knight comes in and I can't protect the bishop. The bishop is trapped. Right? I keep trying and the bishop is trapped. And this is an example of trap pieces. I think this is the third or fourth game, right? Where I just have a piece trapped. So, yeah, really bad by me, but at least I know what my mistakes are. And this whole time, I don't know why I didn't take that pawn, but I didn't. And his knights are super annoying. He gets into the position and... Listen, I can't do much. I'm trying to get this queen in here, and the knight just keeps defending this square, and it's super annoying. And again, I'm just trying to get that position. I don't see this check, and then I get mated. So that was sad. It was the opposite day, right? I got my knight trapped. It was sad for me, not my opponent. This game was actually interesting. I played with 80% accuracy, so you know I won, right? Here we have the Sicilian, which I play pretty decently in, and here it would make sense to develop the knight to protect the pawn. I don't know why I'm playing so fast today. I'm like, there's something going on with me lately. I don't know why. It's not good. Maybe because of other things in life that I'm not playing well, or because I got so close to 1600 and then I went down. Today I went down to like 1510 or something at one point, which is crazy. But anyway, I digress. The game continues, and I find this nice move with the bishop coming in and threatening checkmate. And here he comes back to defend, so I attack his queen, and he takes the pawn, which is just a blunder, because he can't really do anything except take that pawn. And my idea here was to threaten mate again, which is so freaking cool. Forcing him to get rid of the defense of his king. Jesus, I can't speak English. And after something like that, we could even go for a traded position. And even though material is equal, I'm assuming it's because this e6 pawn is a little weak. I'm eyeing this pawn. Yeah. Anyway. That's not what happens. He takes that pawn. I just bring rooks over. And then I sack this rook with the idea of coming with the bishop here. I thought I was a genius with this move. The problem is, the material doesn't add up. So I sacked a rook, and I calculated this This, wait, that's not what I calculated. Yes, it was actually. This, 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 this. That's what I calculated. And the material's not equal. He's winning. So I thought, okay, this is a little tricky. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. And he just moves his queen where it could get captured and where, you know, this is mate. Because the rook is pinned, so that's why the queen is forced to take, by the way, for those that didn't know. And he just does that and resigns. I don't know, I guess the nerves came to him or something. Here, of course, there's a one-move blunder in a winning game. Not the first time you guys saw that, and we're playing the scotch and playing the best move, and of course, and then, you know, of course I don't play the best move. And here we're getting all the pieces in, and, you know, I like pushing this pawn, but it doesn't work right now because he's just up the exchange with check. This is just bad. He could even take this. Okay, apparently that's not good. I'm assuming because... yeah. Okay, yeah, this is mate. Oh, he probably would have fallen for that. Okay, anyway. And maybe I wouldn't have seen it. Anyway, I recognize that. I bring the queen back. I bring my bishop. And we've already seen a couple of games like this. And here I spent some time thinking, like 2 minutes, you know. And I see this free pawn. I'm like, okay, should I take it? I take it. You know, I don't see any better way to get into the position. And here I take the knight, because after he takes, I take, and I calculate all this. I calculate this. I calculate this. I calculate the rook coming in. I calculate if I could run away. And I considered this move. I considered this move with the idea that I'm just going to go away, and I'm safe. Okay, first of all, not safe. Not safe. So, just bad calculation. Second of all, I have to give up my knight so the pawn blocks his accent. So, it's good I didn't do that, I guess. But this is my best move. It attacks the queen, and after this check, I can actually block. Crazy! His queen can't access my king. He has to go around, right? Somehow gain access to this diagonal or double his rooks or something, and meanwhile... I could start doing my own thing, trade pieces maybe, and get into the position. I'm up a piece, right? This knight is the piece that I'm up with. I don't do that. Maybe this is hard to see. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself. But here I still have this opportunity for this move. I take. I want to simplify the position. Okay, I still have the opportunity for knight c3. And I play rook d1 because I calculate takes, check, and I get out of the way. I calculate check. And I didn't see that as mate for some reason. Because of the other variation, I thought I could run away here, I guess. This was really bad. Really bad. Again, I'm making really dumb mistakes. So I think doing a lot of puzzles will help get me back to where I was before. Because this is sad. Sad. I had a one-move blunder in a winning game. Here I wanted to move aside, and I didn't. That's all. That's all. That's the entire logic and right here. So here I took, but I lose the rook. I wanted to move aside, but I didn't. I thought I could do something cool. I couldn't do anything cool. I thought bringing my queen... Oh, I'm threatening mate. Haha, he can't take my... Oh, yeah. And these aren't time issues either. I'm just playing bad. Finally, a game I won. All I said in the description is won. And the idea, this is kind of cool. So I check, I take the queen with check, and that's kind of what allows me to win, because my queen survives. Apparently I could do this move, which is so nasty. And I saw moves like this, because he hasn't developed this knight, with the idea of just back rank mate. But I didn't see it in that variation, in that moment. He doesn't take my rook, though, and I'm like, just thinking I won, right? Boom. I see this move, but I think I could run away with my queen. Not recognizing that I'm also in risk of back rank mate, so I have to give up my queen. He doesn't see it. I get lucky. I could block any back rank mate ideas. I have my connected rooks. He takes, I attack his bishop, and at this point, I know I'm clearly winning. He has 3 hanging pieces, like Jesus Christ. He takes the bishop. He could have had 1 hanging piece here if he brought the knight here to defend the bishop, right? He takes, so I take back. He goes there, I take the bishop. He goes there, I take the pawn. And this is, you know, I'm just trying to trade off pieces, and I'm thinking of back rank mate ideas because he still hasn't, you know, pushed his pawns forward. And he does something kind of tricky here. He does it a little earlier on, which makes me think this is the reason why he didn't resign. If I'm not careful, if I do something like moving this rook up, this is mate. The knight covers the f7 square. I actually saw that in the game. I'm proud of myself for that. And I just move around, and you know, he takes my rook. That was an accident by me. I'm just trying to be careful, and finally he resigns because yeah, yeah. So we have 3 more games. This guy wanted to go for a rematch, so we went for a rematch. And I'm a little scared. Usually I don't do rematches. I like reviewing the game afterwards. But I do the rematch, and here I'm up a pawn, so I'm clearly thinking I'm winning, but I have to be careful about this situation here. And I'm thinking, what happens here? What happens? Takes, and I don't know. The stupid thing in me didn't see this as just taking the pawn for free. I don't know. I was scared that the knight takes, but no, that's not how math works, right? The knight can't take because then the bishop takes. This is protected. I was scared of losing this pawn, and with the bishop attacking, but I could just go queen c1, kicking the rook out, and then castling. And this is fine. You know? Something like this, and like all of this is fine. I could kick the queen out, and eventually everything's fine. Instead of that, I push the pawn to stop the rook from coming in, and then he blunders, and the idea after this is that I can take this pawn, and his rook is trapped. There's so many things that trap things. So many things trap things. Right? So many traps. This is threatening mate, by the way, so I'd have to move over. Okay, and it's not trapped. It's not trapped. But it looked trapped, okay? Okay, I don't know how many people would have figured that out. Anyway, I don't see any of that. I trade here, and I develop my knight into this awkward location because I don't want to block the access of the d file. Maybe it was wrong. Anyway, I don't see this knight move. He gets into the position, and I'm clearly losing. The rook comes in, I'm losing my... The bishop comes in, I'm losing my rook. And this is just clearly losing. So I start playing fast. I start playing fast to play with the person's emotions. And here, I don't know why he gave me the pawn. I just thought it was a free pawn. And the bar kind of agrees. It's giving me some leeway. And I'm pushing these pawns to try to make pass pawns. Trying to make this an idea. I come in with this check. I bring the rook back. And the idea is to maybe go for a perpetual or be very annoying. Or maybe check like this. So takes and I win his queen. Okay? I do that. What I don't realize is I have these 2 hanging pieces that he could leave hanging. And if I take now, I basically lose. And if I go here now, I'm basically lost. Instead of that, for some reason, my opponent takes, falls for the trick. And this is the position. And now I'm winning. I'm winning because even though he has 2 rooks for a queen, you know, it's a little tricky. These pawns are separated. I can kind of attack both of them like they're going to be gone. I have these 2 pawns, 2 against 1. Right? The pawn majority on the left side. And here I go back and forth checking, thinking that I have a perpetual. But really, I take this pawn, and now I have 2 passed freaking pawns. 2 passed pawns. I could probably sack my queen and get some crazy move at some point here, right? And actually, even here it says just check and queen g2, like, I mean, king g2, and I'm eyeing the e4 square. Just the queen is super powerful. Right? It's harder for him to check me. Instead of that, I go for the draw. I get scared. Last 2 games are beauty. Okay, I play 90.8% accuracy. You can see the good and the bad mix over here, right? So again, I love pushing on this side here. I just love it. And here, apparently, taking like this was better, I guess, because the pawn gets into the position. And if takes, I do have this with check, and his queen is super open, right? I don't do that. I take his knight instead, and then we get into this position, and I'm attacking his queen and rook. I move out of the way, and I take his rook. And my knights are just going crazy. And here, I thank God I don't go for the draw. Apparently, I could even sack or get rid of my rook here, because I have this I have this knight c7 attack on the rook, and I'm just winning. If something like this, I just literally move to the side. And he can't do anything. So I don't see that. Instead of that, I thought about moves like that, but I didn't realize it. I bring my queen in, the knight attacks, and I'm like, I let him develop. That's probably not good. But then I see this beautiful move attacking his queen, and then he blunders. He blunders because there's mate. And the last game is a crazy game. Not much time left in the game, okay? Here, I find this beautiful move attacking his queen, and this is a fried liver. I learned in a Chess Vibes video, if you look under live section on YouTube, you'll see one of the videos, because I used to stream chess 7 hours a day to study. One of the videos I learned from YouTube, from Chess Vibes, how to counter the fried liver attack. And it went somewhere like here, where you bring the knight here. You bring the knight here, and you actually have some crazy stuff you could do. You push the pawn, and you let him push his pawn. You let him take to move your king up slowly and do something. But I didn't remember what it was. I didn't remember. And I think how it's supposed to look is a little different. But the idea is here, after the bishop comes in and the pawn comes in, you have crazy threats. And if he tries to push the pawn here, now you could push his bishop back. And, okay, I don't think this was part of the video, is my point. And you could go a6 probably. You could go h6, and you're just going crazy. You're just going crazy in the position. This is hard. This is hard for my small brain. I do not understand how all this works. This looks crazy to me. But, you know, you force the king to move, and all of a sudden it's a very different looking game. Right? You have total control of this game. And if he moves here, you probably have some mate threat eventually, right? It's just crazy stuff. Yeah, this is not how the fried liver counter worked with the knight here. If anyone remembers how it works or can find the video, just link it or tell me in the comments or something. But yeah, I do this B move and I kick. I considered doing these moves, but instead of that, I bring the bishop here and I take the pawn because I don't remember how to get through this position. Again, that bishop is an annoying piece, so I was supposed to get rid of it. Here I attack the rook, he goes back, so I just lose a pawn, and I'm like, shit, that's not good. But we get to this position where I have a bishop and a pawn for a knight and 2 pawns, right? I'm still down a pawn. Here we trade so I could equalize the position again, and here my best move was to take, which is wild. That's wild. Anyway, I don't do that. I move the queen out of the way, and he blunders. He could have attacked my queen. I don't know the extent to all of how this works. I guess the difference is the queen is here. And there's something there because of that. I'm not sure. Well, actually, we might see why right now. So, oh, yeah. Because my bishop and queen are attacking the h2 square. So I check him, and I come here. And I had an unstoppable mate. This stops his escape square. All he could do is literally continuously try to check me. Look, this is literally his only moves to delay mate. How do you delay mate here? There's nothing you can do. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I don't see that. And mind you, I have 1 minute and 40 seconds here, right? Because if we go all the way back here, I was thinking a long time. Look at the time here. 9 minutes, 30 seconds, 7 minutes, 5 minutes. I spent 4 minutes trying to remember how to counter this. And I got it wrong, but I still got into a better position because my opponent didn't play too well. Okay? So I go for this check. He blunders that. I don't see the mate threat. And I check him a couple of times thinking, you know, perpetual is okay. Okay, he doesn't let me get perpetual. Let me take with the knight. Let me take with the knight so my rook can check, which doesn't even make sense, right? Because my rook can still check like this. And oh, no. I think that the reasoning was the knight would have been in the way for an attack. Anyway, I take like this. He attacks with the rook. I attack. My queen is hanging all of this. I attack, right? This is pinned, so he can't take back. And I'm just thinking, wow, this is really cool. And at this point, I say, you know what? Let's trade everything so it's less complicated for me. And let me push my pawns because this is mate, right? If the knight doesn't exist, that's mate. I check. I take his knight. I miss so many mate in ones or mate in twos. Look at this. This is beautiful, right? I need to do more puzzles, man. I need to do more puzzles. Anyway, he runs around the entire board, and I'm like, you know what? Let's trade. Let's trade. He doesn't trade with me. I have 17 seconds left. Okay, my opponent has a minute 26. I'm like, you know what? I'm queening. I'm going to pick up all his pawns. Let's make this simple. Okay? All right, that pawn. Okay, that pawn's not moving. Let me make another queen. I have 10.4 seconds left. I have to get into this position. 8.2 seconds left. I have mate in 2. I don't see it. I'm just rushing. 7.6, 6.9 seconds. And at this point, thank God, we got into the position. 5.9 seconds. I get the mate. That was my last game of the day. So definitely a mix of good and bad. You know, I need to do more puzzles, and I need to stop getting my knights trapped. I think those are the big stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. If you watched this far, you are crazy. It's 35 minutes. I really, really do appreciate you. And please say chess in the description if you watch this far. Thank you, and bye-bye.